regard. Let's turn to our other conversation today, and it has to do with a bill seeking to create a new state in the southeast geopolitical zone, which has now passed the first reading at the House of Representatives. The proposed legislation is co-sponsored by three lawmakers from the southeast: Miriam Onoha from Imo, Kama Nkem Kama from Ebonyi State, and there is Chinwe Nabuefe from Anambra, as well as Anayo Onwego from Enugu State. The new state will be known as Etiti, from Lukpanta, with Lukpanta as the capital, and we understand that this proposed state will have 11 local government areas. The lawmakers are proposing now to amend the 1999 constitution to create a new state from Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo. And if you do a total count from what the southeast and the southwest are asking for, you might have about 9 proposed new states currently with the 10th National Assembly. I'm joined now by acting National Youth Leader Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide. Chukuma Okwalezikwe joins us live from our Abuja studio. Have we been able to identify why there's been a surge in the agitations for creation of more states? We've seen numerous bills now to amend the Constitution currently before the National Assembly.
Yeah, thank you so much. Indeed, the upsurge is not a surprise because the creation of another state is long overdue. It should have been since 2 decades ago. As we all know, all the zones in in Nigeria have 6 states. One has 7, except Southeast. This is inequality. This is unfair. This is unjust. Therefore, the call for another state in Southeast is not just timeous, but as well long overdue. And I urge the federal government, including the executive and the National Assembly, to ensure that actions are expedited to ensure that this injustice is corrected for unity, for equity, for national interest.
Mazi, you don't think that exactly is the problem? The fact that these calls seem more about getting as many states as the other geopolitical zones. And we're not talking about the economic viability of these states at a time where governors say they can't even pay the new minimum wage. And we are talking about cutting the cost of governance. How feasible are these calls, and are they realistic considering our economic situation?
Yes, indeed. It is realistic to create another state in Southeast. It is even long overdue, like I said earlier. In tandem with the viability of the survival of the state with reference to our current economic challenges, yes, it is not an impedance. It is not an obstacle. It is feasible to create additional state in Southeast for economic equity and for balance in the sharing of the national cake, for fairness and for national unity. In tandem with which of them is to be created now, we are in an in-depth consultation within us to ensure that we are going to come out with the right decision, the most feasible and the implementable choice of all these states being proposed for. Thank you.
Well, there's a long list to having this done, and that's perhaps why you've noticed that in the past, all of the additional state creations we've had, have been under military government. And despite constant demands and agitations, especially in the past 25 years of civilian rule, there hasn't been nothing in that regard. So, and they will say this is largely due to the constraints imposed by the 1999 Constitution as amended, which somehow makes this process very tedious. You have to get, the nod of the local governments involved. You have to take it up to the state houses of assembly. You even have to, at some point in the process, get a referendum done to be approved by simple majority of all the states of the federation. How do you think this is going to see the light of the day, seeing those long processes?
Yes, it is never expected to be easy, and nothing good comes so easy. But I want to assure you that it is the responsibility of all Nigerians, especially stakeholders in appropriate quarters, to ensure that this equity, fairness, and justice is done to Southeast. We never expected it to be easy, and we are working so hard to ensure that all hands are on deck in our decision and in our choice. It's feasible, it's possible, it can be difficult but not impossible, and we are on it.
Already as we speak, 2 local government areas in Cross River State have dissociated themselves from being a part of the proposed creation of Ogoja State. Let's talk about where you're from. You're probably also agitating for additional states. How united are the locals in the Southeast precisely?
Yes, indeed. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And in such a system, we have freedom of speech and association. That is why I can tell you that stakeholders like the youths, the people, and the others in leadership positions are working so hard, doing the in-depth consultation on this matter to ensure that all hands are on deck for progress and success on this creation of new state, which will not only balance the Southeast with other zones, but will also serve equity, fairness, and justice as we in Southeast have been clamoring for.
Good place to live in.
Thank you.
Chukwuma Okpala-Eziokwu is the acting national youth leader, Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Mazi, thank you so much for talking to us on the program this evening. So 28 years after the late General Sani Abacha added 6 states, bringing the number to 36, lawmakers want about 9 more. We'll see how that goes in the coming